it's an improved quality of life. Not only can you have time to build your practice without being there more, but when you're not in the office, you're not as stressed out.
I mean, can you even put a price tag on that?
So when you first started using dental monitoring, what were some of the concerns that you had? What were you really like maybe a little apprehensive about? Would it work or not work?
Yeah, I mean, for us, we are totally into customer service, and we pride ourselves on that. So now all of a sudden we're having a computer basically substitute a little bit for our in-person touches. How were people going to react to that? And what we realized was actually because we were now weekly connecting with our patients, and it was, better customer service than what we'd had before. And yet when they came in, we still delivered that same level of care that we always did. And then the scheduling part of it, my front office was like, wait, we're not going to schedule an appointment before they leave? How's that going to work? And so it was a leap of faith. Yeah. We had heard other offices that were doing it and talked about how great it worked. And our team wouldn't go back now. Yeah. I mean, our ability to plug and play people.
Resistance in the beginning to bringing it in? Was your team?
From our team?
Yeah.
A little bit with the front desk on the scheduling, because luckily we had two of our team members had gone to a training with me, and so they saw the vision. And it wasn't me telling them we were going to do this; it was my two team members telling the rest of the team that we were going to do it, and they were fired up. The only pushback was from the front desk on not giving an appointment before they walked out the door.
When you could go to on-demand scheduling and to let that patient walk away, I was concerned, like, well, are they going to be lost? Are they never coming back? How are we going to keep track of them? But then your dental monitoring becomes your recall, and you're seeing them every week, and you know who isn't scanning, and we can reach out to them and say, hey, is there an issue with your scan box? Are you having any trouble? We didn't get to see you this week. And so it's actually given us more patient touches, but exactly. It was hard to relinquish that control at first.
It is, and then you realize you actually have more control than you had before. Yeah, it's like Big Brother's watching a little bit. But I mean, your story is amazingly unique. I mean, you were telling me about it before, and just why you even brought in dental monitoring.
So we started using it because we went from a team of 12 pre-pandemic to 6 people when we could come out of the lockdown. Mm-hmm. And we had to figure out how are we going to see all these people, how are we going to see all these patients without staff, without people to see the patients. So my staff was on board right away. They were excited because they figured, okay, now we're not going to be seeing 70 patients a day with half the staff.
Yeah.
And I really think the patients were really excited about it, to learn that there was a new technology that could give them more touches, more watchful eye on, are we having a problem at home? Is brushing okay? What if we have a broken bracket and we didn't know it? Well, we can see it. We can help you with that.
Yeah.
I feel like it was a win-win. Like, nobody questioned it. The staff didn't, feel apprehension, and the patients loved the thought of it too. So,
well, I would imagine not only did you survive that time, but your days from having 12 staff to now having 6 staff. I mean, it's just got to be it's just probably a funner day and a more relaxed day. It's not like the craziness it used to be, I would imagine.
That's correct. I totally agree. And then, as the business owner, there's less staff to manage, less maybe interactions that you would rather not deal with between staff members. So when you have a smaller staff, I think they work harder to work together because they need each other.
Yeah.
And they love the thought of dental monitoring because now they know they're not seeing 70 patients a day. They're going to see 40 patients a day, and we're going to get finished on time. And it was a better experience for the team.
Yeah. I mean, I look back at how many chairs we used to run and how many days we used to work, and I don't think I could do it again.
But you do a lot of aligners?
I do, yeah. We're probably 75-80% aligners in our practice now, which is a big shift for us. And I mean, on the aligner side, it for me, it just clicked with dental monitoring. Like, this is a no-brainer. We have cut our number of appointments down in our practice by 20% over the last year and a half.
And so with less appointments, are they also finishing faster?
Yeah, we're definitely more efficient. Because with the liners, well, I guess with braces too, but if you're at a 8 to 10 week interval and things start going wrong in week 2, 3, 4, and you have no idea, they come back, you just lost 6 weeks. And not only did you lose that 6 weeks, but you have to now recover that 6 weeks. So you really lost 12 weeks. And with dental monitoring, if something starts going off the tracks, you know the day it happens. And you can either message with that patient, hey, this is happening, you need to do X, Y, and Z, and get them back on track. Or if they can't, okay, bring them in and let's retool this and just get them back. So yeah, our efficiency of our treatments, I use the analogy with our patients that do get off the tracks, and it gets to the point where we don't have them keep going. We'll bring them in for like an early mid-course correction. And they're like, gosh, this is really going to set me back, isn't it? I'm like, no, actually, this is going to save you time. It's like the tortoise versus the hare. Like if we hadn't caught this, you would have been the hare, you would have kept going, and you would have not gotten to the finish line. But we're taking you back as the turtle now. And that sounds terrible, but and we're going to get you back on track now, so that in the end, we're actually going to be more efficient and get you done earlier and faster than what you have. But I mean, I know that,
Same thing with the braces, where somebody could have had a broken bracket. We didn't know about it. They had no idea. That bracket could be off for 8 weeks. And that just keeps them in treatment longer. So,
well, I mean, how many times do teenage boys come in and you look in their mouth and they got 3 broken brackets and you're like, so when did that break? Oh, like a week or 2 after I saw you. I'm like, you can call us, right?
Would you ever go back?
Oh, no. It's like, yeah, I mean, it's another one of those things where you wish you had done it earlier. Like why was I not doing this earlier? My life is vastly different now. Our practice is vastly different. We were running 16 doctor days, 6 chairs a day. Now we're running 11 doctor days, 4 chairs a day. I mean, and my team loves it.
I think the patients in your office feel less stressed coming in, and it's not chaotic, and every chair's booked and the waiting room's booked and there's no parking outside. So even though we feel relaxed, I feel like the moms feel relaxed. The patient doesn't feel rushed.
Well, did you ever have patients, not so much patients, but parents say, oh, this is just like a factory?
Well, I've heard them complain about other offices, or, their dermatologists, they would go in and, the waiting room's full. So patients are aware of that.
Aware of that. Yeah, it's a different vibe now. And as a matter of fact, there's times people come in like, where's everybody? I'm like, no, this is how it is now.
This is it.
Yeah, this is
us.
It's a total more relaxed way to work.
So do you spend less time in the office? Does that, what are you doing with your time?
Yeah, I'm definitely less in the office. And that's my choice. My personal choice is to take that time and take it away from work. And, the thing about it though, and I talk about this with other doctors, this just, it frees up your time, and you can use your time for whatever you want. Talk about giving you the ability to grow your practice, and for years, a lot of us, we had that kind of steady growth, and we were always worried, okay, next year when we grow again, where are we going to put people? Because we're already booking, you go to these conferences and they say, hey, you have to increase your intervals between appointments. So
they can see more
you can see more patients. But then that was delivering worse care, actually, and actually making your practice harder, because now you had more active patients because you were extending their treatment time.
Problems you couldn't see.
That
were going off the rails that you didn't know about for 16 weeks.
Exactly. Yeah, it was.
I kind of joke too, like you say, you have more time out of the office. I always credit dental monitoring with making me a better mom, because I used to work 5 days a week. I would come home exhausted, and now I work 3 days a week, and I can get kids off the bus some days, and it's an improved quality of life. Not only can you have time to build your practice without being there more, but when you're not in the office, you're not as stressed out.
I mean, can you even put a price tag on that?
I can't. Like, that's what I said. I would never go back.
Yeah. No, I again, that's where I wish I had this technology years ago. So my 2 older boys are in college now, and they're gone, and I just have 2 left at home in high school, and they're going to get some of the benefit of this, be able to spend a lot more time with them. But I wish I could go back and have that with my other ones. I wish I could have it back when they were little, and it's just, as a working parent, you miss so much. So with dental monitoring, I mean, how is this tell me the benefits of doing it with your braces patients.
I actually love monitoring my braces patients because where before, if we didn't know something was broken, there was a disengaged arch wire, the brushing wasn't great, all these things made, treatment take longer. The patient experience went down the longer they stayed in treatment or had decal at debond. So to see problems happen with braces in real time, I find it's totally invaluable.
And I would imagine like you don't have surprise appointments anymore.
No, we add people in, but we know what they're coming in for. So
that's what I mean, yeah.
So if we know they're coming in for a broken bracket, the chair's set up, we repair a broken bracket. Yeah. How many times do patients come in during ortho rush hour, right? It's 4:30. Anything loose, broken, poking? Nope, everything's great. And they have 3 broken brackets. Yeah. There's one that's set up. The staff is scrambling. Yeah. So it's really improved our ability to treat the patient for what they came in for. So the treatment time is shorter. They're so busy. They're off to do the next thing. So we want to provide that service. Like you come in, you get repaired, you leave. We didn't have that before because, like you said, it's a surprise. You're playing roulette. They come in, they sit down, you're like, what are we dealing with today? Yeah.
And then how about like for monitoring like bite corrections with elastics? Do you feel like you have a little bit more control over that now than you used to?
I used to, how many times did you bring a patient back in 4 weeks to check elastics because you thought they were going to wear the rubber bands?
Yep.
They're coming in every 4 weeks and they're never wearing the rubber bands. And so setting goals for our braces patients to find out when they're class 1 or when the midline's corrected, it saves the mom or the dad all those trips back to the office. You see when it's done. I think it's more motivating for the patient because we say, you wear your elastics, we're going to see. As soon as we see that we've corrected the problem, we're going to bring you back and scan you for your retainers.
Yeah.
So before, I feel like the patient, there was no end. See you in 4 weeks, and they put their braces, they put their elastics on at 3.5 weeks, and hope it gets down.
It's like cramming for a test.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. The night before, I better get these in there. Yeah. And then they try to go for it, but they haven't. For 3.5 weeks, they haven't been doing it. And you had no idea if they were or they weren't. Yeah. But now with the weekly check-ins, basically. Yeah.
And to see problems as they arise in real time, I feel like it gets them out of treatment faster. Just like you were talking about with your aligner patients, knowing when they go off the rails, you can redirect and stay on track. The same thing with braces patients.
Yeah. We've been using it with our braces patients as well, where I'll take a look at, 6 weeks out from their previous appointment and decide if they're ready for their next wire change. Yeah. And then I'm able to put in notes into the treatment card. Okay, they're this, this next wire we're going to put in X, Y, and Z. And actually, my team's seeing patients on days I'm not even there because we can get them in at different various spots. So we can actually, I didn't even talk about that. The fact that we're able to have more opportunities for patients for appointments at different times of the day, we're able to accommodate some of their desires. Yep. Apparently no kid can miss school anymore. I mean, for us, not every single patient is on dental monitoring because we have patients that we had started prior.
Yes.
That we just didn't add them into dental monitoring. We started doing all of our new patients. And I got to tell you, like when I have patients coming in that aren't on dental monitoring, the ones who are just finishing up their treatment, I really feel like I don't know what's happening in their care.
Yeah.
And it's like you're saying, it's Russian roulette when they sit in the chair as far as, okay, first of all, I haven't seen them in 6 weeks, so I don't remember what they looked like before. I have no idea what I'm doing that day. Even though I have notes in there, it's still, and it just seems like, and their treatments are just dragging on.
Or even aligner patients, the same thing, where if they weren't on dental monitoring and they had 16 aligners and came back in 4 months, they could not fit at all. Like you had no insight that they really weren't wearing them, or they only wore them to bed at night and they slept 5 hours. But they're on 16. Like somehow they got the plastic discharge. So it just keeps them in treatment longer, I think, to not have that insight. And then
absolutely,
when they come in and you don't know because you hadn't been monitoring, deployment takes longer. Or, oh, hey, there's something that's broken or damaged. You have a broken tie and we're going to have to take that off and replace it. And so it's probably Russian roulette for the mom too. Like, we're going to be in that office today.
Yeah. Some of the questions I get from people too is, wow, we have this lab cost, we have this lab cost, and this is one more cost. And for us, we actually, like, we code all of our expenses and everything. And I code dental monitoring under my staff costs, actually. I consider dental monitoring an extension of staff. And for us, we've been able to, in the past, we would have had to add another assistant at this point. Well, I mean, we were running short anyways.
Yep.
And with dental monitoring, we haven't had to add that next person and that next person. Our costs actually our staff costs are lower, even though we have our dental monitoring fee, because it's a lot cheaper to pay dental monitoring than to pay a whole other staff person.
The way I tried to reconcile the cost was, what's the cost of being 6 months over treatment?
Yeah.
What's the cost to, first of all, your bottom line, because they're not done in 20 months, they're done in 28. But what's the cost to your schedule? It really constricts your productivity because you have all of these patients clogging up your schedule that can't get out of treatment, that can't be finished. So to me, the cost of doing dental monitoring outweighed the cost of not having the information, not having the staff, having treatment take longer, having unhappy parents because they have to keep coming back, having unhappy dentists because this kid has decalcification in his braces that's been on too long.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of ways to reconcile costs. I think that's interesting to put it in with your staff costs because it really is a staff member. So like in a single word, if you could, just one single word, what has dental monitoring either done for you or given you, or just one word?
Yeah, a great question. Easy answer for me: freedom. I mean, really, it's freedom. I've been freed from my practice telling me what to do with my life, and now because of the efficiency of dental monitoring, it's my life that tells my practice how much I'm going to be there. That's a great question. I mean, right back at you. What would be the word to describe it for you?
I think time.
Yeah.
It's given me, like you said, time out of the office with my family, with my kids. It's given our patients less time in treatment. It's giving them their smile in less time.
Yeah.
Parents waiting less time in the waiting room. Appointments taking less time.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not just your time.
Yeah. I think time, our assistants get out on time because of dental monitoring. So I think there's time back for everybody involved.
Yeah, that's perfect. I love that.